Good morning, everyone. From GAI Insights, AI news briefing every morning at 7:30. My name is Luda Kopikina. Today we have a very small crew, Adam and Ankaj. John and Paul are presenting at a very esteemed gathering at CIBC. So we will take you through the articles. We have 6 articles today, rating them essential, important, and optional, saving you some time and providing some wonderful insights into what's happening in the AI field. So Ankaj, let's start with the first article. Please.
Luda. Yes. So the first one that we have comes from Entropic. So Entropic has introduced an updated Claude 3.5 Sonnet model and a Claude 3.5 Haiku model, and they have introduced a new feature which is in beta right now called computer use, through which Entropic models can use your computer.
Great. So an interesting announcement. Adam, what do you think?
So I was actually considering calling this essential, not specifically just because it's Anthropic, but this is the first product to market that actually enables an LLM to take control of your computer. So this trend, I expect we will see other people very quickly responding to this, like OpenAI and potentially other foundation models. So some other interesting news here. The Claude 3.5 Claude has 3 sizes. There's Haiku, which is small, Sonnet, which is medium, and Opus, which is large. And 3.0 Opus was comparable to GPT-4, and 3.5 when it came out at Sonnet, so that was the medium size, was outcompeting the 3.0 large. And now Claude 3.5 Haiku, which is their smallest one, is outcompeting their 3.0 large. So it's really telling. It signifies that this 3.5 large, the 3.5 Opus, they're holding that back, and it's probably another significant step forward. The computer use is only available through the API right now, but there are a lot of people already putting together some incredible demos where it's filling out forms for them, where it's looking at Excel spreadsheets and collecting information and then putting it into other locations. And it's a significant step forward that we now actually have an LLM that can take control of your computer. Potentially important because it is still early, but debatably essential news.
Interesting. So I actually thought it was important for the same reason. I didn't quite get it to essential. Maybe listeners out there vote. And Ankash, what do you think? Do you put it essential or important?
So after seeing some of the demos that people have been working on with the computer use feature, I would rate it maybe essential, because it kind of denotes the new user interface that we can maybe work with going forward. So the demos are still giving instructions or writing instructions to Claude. But maybe in future we can have voice instructions, and then the kind of productivity increase that we can have by just talking to these models, that would be really amazing.
Yeah. So I hear you, and I also looked at some of the videos. So okay,
Tim,
I think
Tim is joining us from the chat as well, and he's chimed in as essential as well. Yes.
Yeah. So go essential on this one. All right, essential it is. All right, Ankaj, let's go the next article, please.
Sure, Luda. So the next one comes from Cohere. So Cohere has introduced Multimodal Embed 3 model, which is powering AI search.
Yes, this was me. It is actually quite impressive. So, Ankash, if you scroll down and show the results. So this is a product announcement. This is an ability of Cohere's model to take input, visual and textual, and the model is now multimodal, but they are doing it in a way that performance-wise, accuracy-wise, latency-wise, they show really cool results here. So I rated it as optional, but I was on the border with important because I think for folks who are looking at which model to use, they kind of need to know that this is pushing the charts. What do you think? Adam, what do you
Yeah, I was leaning towards optional. It seemed like a bit of a step change. They already had Embed, and now it's just going to multimodal. There are a lot of multimodal models already out there. So Cohere now stepping up to the plate with this is in some ways keeping up. But I could probably be swayed.
Ankash, you are in
Tiebreaker.
time mode again. What do you think?
I think it's important, given it's coming from Cohere, which is an enterprise-focused vendor, and this is a multimodal embedding model. So I think from a RAG perspective, also it's really important. So I think maybe I will go with important.
Okay, listeners, what do you think?
And you've got the chalk, Ludo, so you get the final say.
Yeah, no, at the moment it's 2-1, so we go important. So unless the listeners tell us otherwise. So important it is. Let's go next one, Ankash.
Yes. So the next one comes from an AI video startup called Genmo. So they have launched Mochi 1, which is an open source rival to Runway, Kling, and others.
Okay, Adam, what do you think?
It's awesome to see the open source movement continue to push the boundaries and compete with the closed source models. I was definitely considering this optional news. The fact that it's just another competitor in the space made it optional, but when you read into some of the details, if you want to run this thing yourself, you need quote unquote at least 4 NVIDIA H100s. So this is still something that's probably going to be accessed through some third party, not something that's really for an individual or even an organization to be running themselves.
Yeah, I agree with you, Adam. This optional. This is a product announcement. It's not quite out there yet. Totally, the company has raised 28 some million, so not a huge raise, but a good size to push the boundary. So yeah, optional for now because it's quite early yet. Ankash, agree?
Yes, optional for now. Agree absolutely with Adam's point. Just in addition that I think the weights are already available on Hugging Face. So just highlighting that it's an open source one.
But the data is not, right? The
Correct.
data they're still keeping to their chest, and that's yeah. Okay, all right. Optional it is for now. Let's do next one, Ankash.
Yes. So the next one is about a new AI model developed by Harvard, which detect cancer with 96% accuracy.
Yeah, this is me, and I it's absolutely stunning that the model can do that. So Harvard used quite a bit of data, their own data, to develop this model that specifically can work on cancer, and it's called CHIEF, right? The let's say it's Clinical Histopathology Imaging Evaluation Foundation, and it does 96% accuracy on 19 different types of cancer, which is stunning. So I felt it's optional, unfortunately, but for the general reader, but it's hugely important for the healthcare folks. So it may be that we should put it as important overall, so that as a use case of how the really deep data can provide incredible accuracy and quite a broad reach. So what do you think, Adam?
Yeah, it's another one another of these articles where for the greater good of all of humanity, it's huge news, right? But specifically in terms of this capability, you could also debatably say this is just another example of how when you fine tune a model for a specific purpose, it performs exceptionally well. But given the significance and given what this means, I could definitely see people would want to have this, as Tim says, in the back pocket. So I could definitely support important.
Yeah, and it also compares itself at they compare this particular model to other ones, earlier models that had also quite good accuracy, but not to the 96%. So there's a push for higher accuracy, deeper understanding of particular cancers. That is a good thing to know as a use case. So let's put it as important. Okay, next one.
Yes. So the next one comes from Stable Diffusion or stability.ai, and they have introduced Stable Diffusion 3.5.
Okay, Adam, what do you think?
It's great news. Stable diffusion is in many ways the backbone of a lot of the image generation that goes on out there, and the coherence in here. Ankaj, if you scroll down to where there's the turtle and the three potions, there's an image further down on the page that if you can expand that, you'll see the extent to which the coherence in this. Yeah, it's probably just still loading there. Yeah, expand that up. The level of detail, like very, very specific prompt, right? Scene of a giant ancient tortoise with a fantasy city on its back. The shell's covered with lush dense forest. I mean, the amount of detail that you can put into these prompts and get exactly what you ask for is phenomenal. Saying you want a blue bottle that says mana, a red bottle that says health, etc. That being said, it is an incremental step forward for stable diffusion, and I would consider it optional as much as I think it's going to just really push things forward.
Yeah, I agree. It's if it was a couple, like what, a year ago, we would have been raving about it, right? This is absolutely stunning images, and performance and latency they report is quite good. So the whole field is just advancing in front of our eyes. It's unbelievable. And here we are rating it optional.
And I'll just add that along with SD35 large, they also have SD35 large turbo, which only goes through 4 passes, which is incredibly fast to generate results. And you can see it's actually just in the middle of that purple chart there, but it's performing as well as a lot of the other models out there already. So we're going to be generating very, very quick, high quality results. So it's worth noting, keep an eye on though, absolutely.
Yeah, but I think the objective is to be able to do much better videos and go to like clips that we still only can do small clips. I think one of the prior article talked about the company actually pushing and doing the whole movies through AI, Gen AI, and that's a tall order for now, but I think they're pushing. The Genmo, yeah, folks.
So optional
yeah.
is
Optional for now, yes. So Ankaj,
Okay,
next.
the last, yes. So the last one that we have comes from California Management Review, and it talks about the competitive advantage in age of AI.
Yeah, that's mine. So this article actually goes through and tries to summarize what has happened and what are the critical things you have to watch for as you are implementing Gen AI. And it puts it, I think, in several categories. I found it interesting. I'm not sure. I was tempted to go important, but ended up optional. So Ankash, maybe we have a couple of minutes of time, so let's go through those categories. But viewers, please let us know what you think.
Yeah, Luda, I was on the fence as well, but leaning towards optional. As much as they did a good job, the categories are the data, their digital core, the rate of learning, the depth of capability reinvention, the strength of their external partnerships, and how trusted they are to use AI responsibly, which is all well and good. But for the most part, as you drill into these, it's fairly straightforward, common sense things that they're actually advising on. So I was leaning towards optional as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Ankash, what do you think?
I think optional from my perspective as well. Most of these things we have discussed in previous articles, so nothing new, but a good sort of collection, but not an important one, I would say.
Yeah, and they do. So if you have time over the weekend, there's some cases to support what they are talking about included in the article. So it's an okay read for the overall understanding, but optional for now. Okay, so Ankash, maybe you get us the leaderboard.
Wait, just swinging it up.
So we have, I think,
one essential,
one essential,
and
two important, and three optionals. Not bad for Wednesday.
for a Wednesday.
So not bad for Wednesday. Well, thank you for listening. Thank you, listeners, for participating, and see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.